Hello and welcome. There's this time of waiting and wondering that is just so full of excitement and anticipation. And today, we're diving right into that. We're going to talk about the very first signs of pregnancy, those tiny, subtle clues your body might be sending you before you even miss a period. So let's get into it.
So let's just start with the biggest question right off the bat. Is it even possible to know you're pregnant before that super famous number one sign, a missed period? Well, believe it or not, the answer is yes, you can. And it all starts with understanding how the pregnancy timeline really works. All right, first things first, let's clear up something that confuses, well, pretty much everyone. What on earth does week 1 of pregnancy actually mean? It's probably not what you think, so let's break it down right now.
Okay, this is kind of wild. When doctors talk about week 1, you're not actually pregnant yet. Seriously, they start the clock on the first day of your last period. The real beginning, the biological start, conception, that doesn't usually happen until about 2 weeks later, around what doctors call week 3. So think of it this way. The official countdown starts before the main event has even happened. Okay, so now we know that the magic really starts around week 3. But what is actually going on inside your body during that time? It's time to take a peek at this incredible, totally invisible journey that marks the true beginning of a pregnancy. So it all kicks off with ovulation. If a sperm meets that egg, an amazing journey begins. For the next week or so, this fertilized egg just starts dividing and growing, becoming a tiny little embryo, all while it's traveling down the fallopian tube. And then comes the most critical step of all, implantation. This is when the embryo finally reaches the uterus and attaches to the uterine wall. And right there, that's the moment everything really truly changes. Implantation. That's the key word here. It is the biological event that officially kicks off pregnancy. And for our purposes today, it's the trigger that tells your body to start sending out those very first physical signals we're all looking for. And that brings us to the main event, learning how to decode those first clues. Now that we know implantation is the starting pistol, let's get into the actual signs and symptoms it can cause. What should you be looking out for? After all that incredible microscopic action that's been happening inside, what's the very first thing that you might actually see or feel on the outside? Well, the earliest signs are tied directly to that moment of implantation. You might notice something called implantation bleeding. Now, let's be super clear. This is not a period. It's way, way lighter, just some faint spotting, maybe a little pink or brown, and it's usually really brief and intermittent. It's literally caused by the embryo burrowing into the uterine lining. At the same time, you might feel some mild cramping, much gentler than what you'd get with your period. These two signs are often the very first telltale clues. Okay, so right after implantation, your body starts pumping out pregnancy hormones like crazy. And one of the first places they go to work? Your breasts. A lot of women notice your breasts feeling really full, maybe a bit heavy or just sore and incredibly sensitive to the touch. This is your body already starting the early preparations for breastfeeding down the line. It's amazing. And the changes don't just stop at sensitivity. You might also look down and notice that your nipples and the darker area around them called the areola are actually getting darker and maybe even bigger. You might see little bumps appear or that the veins in your chest are suddenly way more noticeable. It's a whole package of changes, all thanks to those surging hormones. Oh, and let's talk about energy and emotions, shall we? One of the biggest, most common signs is just a profound sense of fatigue. I mean, you feel bone tired, even when you haven't really done anything. That's because your body is working in absolute overdrive to support a new life. And with all those hormones flying around, yeah, mood swings can pop up out of nowhere. Feeling weepy one minute and totally fine the next is, well, it's completely normal. Have you found yourself running to the bathroom more often? Maybe even waking up at night to go? There is a totally logical reason for that. Your body is increasing blood flow to your uterus, which in turn ramps up your entire circulatory system. All that extra fluid means your kidneys have to work harder, and the end result is, well, you have to pee more often. It's a simple biological chain reaction with a very noticeable outcome. All right, moving on. Let's talk about something that can really shift dramatically, your relationship with food. What is going on with your appetite and your senses of taste and smell? So this is a big one. Some women describe having a weird metallic taste in their mouth. You might suddenly get intense cravings for things you never ate before, especially sour stuff. Or on the flip side, a food you used to love might now seem completely gross. And then there's the super-powered sense of smell. You might notice you can smell things from a mile away, which unfortunately can sometimes trigger nausea, what we all famously know as morning sickness. So you've been noticing some of these signs, and you're thinking, could this be real? How do you finally go from just a suspicion to knowing for sure? Well, it's time to talk about the moment of truth. Now, I know it is so tempting to test early, but honestly, the most reliable way to get an accurate result is to just practice a little patience. The best thing to do is wait until the day your period is supposed to start, or even a day or two after you've missed it. This just gives your body enough time to build up detectable levels of that all-important pregnancy hormone, HCG.
And then that's it. You get your answer. This is the moment that confirms everything we've been talking about. Those two little pink lines are the ultimate sign that this incredible journey has officially begun.
And now let's bring this all the way back to the beginning. When you see that positive test, it's so easy to think, okay, I'm in week 1. But remember our funky timeline? Because doctors count from the first day of your last period, a positive test actually means you're probably around 4 or even 5 weeks along already. That whole invisible journey was happening long before you could even confirm it.
And there you have it, a whole tour of the very first signs of pregnancy. From that invisible, amazing process of implantation to the first little clues your body sends out. But of course, seeing those two pink lines isn't the end of the story, is it? It's just the very first page of a brand new chapter, which leaves us with the ultimate question. What's next?